Welcome, everyone. I'm going to switch glasses. Welcome. I'm hoping that you guys can all hear me. I'm going to wait because last time around I went through my spiel and probably about 5 minutes in, I realized that I wasn't even live. Can I get a little hello? You can hear me. Can you hear me now? Loud and clear. Awesome. Welcome. I'm actually, this is much, the last live, there was a million things happening and my brain was like, if I could have cloned myself in 4 different people, one here, there, and mind you, I had Sandra helping out. I had the client who is Daniel from T2M also helping out. But when it comes to the technology, I needed 3 more people who were onto the tech because then we had feedback going on and I forgot to press the live and oh my goodness gracious, it was a mess. but you couldn't tell. I was like keeping it. I'm watching the replay and I can see my little tells on my face as things were sort of, a wheel was coming off here and you could see to my face that I'm like, okay, I got to fix that and just keep moving here. All right. Well, it's good to be here today. It's super chill. It's all about you guys. Have a look at this. Have a look at this shot. So I'm going to show you about this one, but can you see all these other babies in the background? There's there's all this beautiful perfume back here. So today I just want to relax. I want to answer. I want to look at the things that are being mentioned. I want to know about the new fragrances that you guys are into. I want to answer some questions that I've had come through, and I thought this is a great opportunity to actually do it in somewhat real time, meaning that you guys can, we can talk via the chat, and then I can respond to that. Before I begin, can I ask everybody who's on? I can see we've got a lot of people coming through, which is so exciting. Can you put your name and also a flag? I want to see where we are around the world because I nerd out a little bit. Give me a second. I'll switch glasses. I nerd out a little bit as I think to myself, we're talking around the world. I mean, this is a cool experience for me. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to drink a little bit of mate while you guys name in. Oh, John, I'm so glad you're here, brother. Because for those who are aware, I've started the Discord, the NFC Discord. I'm going to switch cameras. And so just to be clear, so the NFC Discord exists. It's a net added benefit to members of the channel. So as a member of the channel, you get a chance to not only go into the raffle every month, and I'll send you something. So and I curate it specifically for the winner. All right. So you tell me what you love, and then I'll send you a whole bunch of different samples. So that's one of the benefits. The other benefit is, well, obviously you're helping the channel. I mean, it's not a lot of money. It's $4, but it's all about, you can break 1 matchstick, but if you have 100 matchsticks, it's impossible to break. So the more people involved, the greater help it is to the channel. And I'm appreciative of that. And the last part is Discord. So the new NFC Discord server has opened up. It's going off in there, going off in such a beautiful way. There's this, and I've mentioned before how we've got these tiers within the channel, so new recruits all the way up to a 5-star general. There's a number of veterans and 5-star generals in there that are answering a lot of questions. People will raise, what's a good this or what's a good that? And you have this incredible conversation that's actually spinning around in there. I jump in only regularly, only occasionally. And that's only because you guys hear me all the time on the channel. I can create a whole video on something, whereas I find that this is a great platform for others to now, anyway, it's wonderful because there's so many knowledgeable members within the community, within the NFC community that can all participate. So boom, there it is. All right, oh man. All right, so last time around we got, there were 65 people, but 43 in this live already. I mean, thank you guys. I appreciate you jumping in. Oh, Carlito, Sandra's my producer. All right, so she's a financier, she's a producer. But believe it or not, and am I allowed to say this about what happened on Saturday? On Saturday, we celebrated 34 years of marriage. So she's also my wife. She's my wife. So yeah, 34 years, and we joke that we're still in love, which is nice. It's nice to, after all this time. All right, so let's have a look. So we've got Mercedes. Good to hear from you. All right, I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna play catch up while I was yapping away. So Bram, with your name, I thought you were based in Germany. So there you go. So welcome. You're in LA. Ilias, my man, the recent winner on one of the comps. Congratulations to you. And I love that you've got all the flags happening. Aussie, Germany, and Greece. Good for you, man. Represent. All right. Raucous Tread, who is Vic. I will let me answer those questions for you. Oh, see, I'm so happy to be. I'm getting goosebumps because I can now just sit and relax and talk to you guys. Now we will go for about an hour. Okay, so heads up. I know that people have things to do, so give us about an hour and we'll move on. Okay. All right. So Frederick, you're from. Pardon my ignorance, that flag, is that Sweden? The white, sorry, the red with the blue cross and the white, is that a Swedish flag? I'd love to know. We've got Alex. We've got Texas in the house. Linda from Norway. Thank you. Thank you, Freddie. Norway. I love it. Happy anniversary. Oh, yes. Thank you, Krista. And you're getting married on Saturday? Okay. Wow, congratulations. Sorry? All right. So Sandra's asked me, so Krista, for your wedding, have you selected your fragrance? I mean, this is an important, I know you have to select the right person to get married to, but the second most important thing is the right fragrance. So what fragrance have you selected for your big day? This is the ultimate olfactory experience. Yeah, I like, so quick trips. That's Lido. Lido, good to see you, man. And I love that, yeah, international. Absolutely. And I love the thought that we are across the world. Who's wearing, okay, Alex saying Narcotic V. Is that a suggestion for Krista? Because I'm telling you, you're going to distract whoever you're getting married to. They're not going to be able to do their vows. They're just going to be going, yes, I want to, rather than I do. They'll say, I want to. Krista, I look forward to, once you jump in, Krista, to let us know what is your favorite or the fragrance that you've selected for your big day. I'm a CBS grade myself. I'm not sure what that is. It's all good. Okay. Oh, you guys are talking. I love it. You guys are having your, yeah. Alex, for Krista, absolutely. Yep. Okay, coming through. Okay, so you've chosen, Ardent. I haven't smelled Ardent, so I don't know. And your husband is going to be wearing Zaharoff Black Rose. So cheers to both of you. Next time I'm in Oillataguerre, which will be on Wednesday, I'm gonna look for Ardent and see what that one's all about. I want to welcome Cherry. Cherry's one of the a new subscriber to the channel, and it's good to have you here. It's awesome that you're coming in from Perth, and it's 6 a.m. So represent. I got up at 6:30 this morning, and I was having a little cry on the inside because I'm like, I normally don't get out of bed till about 7:15. Ed is here. Morning. It's good to see the Aussies out. Nice to see you all. All right, here we go. All right, well, look, you know what? I'm going to get cracking. Let me begin by welcoming everybody. As I mentioned earlier, it's good to have a nice representation of people from across the world. So we've got literally from Norway across to, what have we had? The only one we're missing is India. Anyone from India? I'd love to see an Indian flag in here. I know that in India right now, it's 3:30 in the morning. So that's full-on commitment. All right, so I mentioned, let me loop back on membership to the channel because I had someone ask me about the Discord. So if you're a member of the channel, you need to send me an email or a DM, all right, via Instagram, because I'll send you a personalized link. Now that link will then allow you to enter into the Discord or the NFC Discord server. Inside there, so inside the Discord server, there is a full-on, it's literally you are walking into a niche perfume event, okay? The moment you open the door, you'll hear the conversations occurring, a number of questions. And what we've done is we've broken up all the different sort of conversations within Discord to cover a range of things. So scent of the day, new recommendations, ideas for the channel, anyway, on and on and on. Now, one thing that I'm doing is stepping backwards and letting the members all, speak amongst yourselves, and you guys sort of support one another. I mean, some really good advice is being shared when it comes to new fragrances or fragrances with particular notes. There was one question that I want to address today, and that was done by John. No, it wasn't, sorry. John, actually, John, you've become one of the 5-star generals of Discord. But one of the questions that was raised by Ricardo, who is a Chilean man who's based in Poland. I love the multinational component of that. And he asked for a really a tuberose that can be worn by a man. So I'm going to address that in just a second. So yeah, within Discord, it's a chance to connect with and go deeper. If you want to, sometimes people ask me questions. I can't answer them all. I have to be on. I mean, I'm trying my best, and you can see that I'm responding as much as I can very quickly as soon as I post a video. But having said that, it's literally, sometimes it's a tsunami. I'll wake up in the morning and there are a lot of comments that come through. I try to my best to answer them all, but I can't, all right? Sometimes I get DMs, I get emails, and I get all the comments coming through on YouTube, and it becomes, well, yes, it just becomes a lot. So by being in the Discord group, if you have a really burning question, one question that I get, there's a gentleman by the name of, his handle is amateur black or something like that. Anyway, he wants me to compare, and I will do this, all right? So if you're watching, I will do this. Wants me to compare Symphonium and Richwood against each other, but wants that two women to smell it. I promise I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a, baby, what's your name? It will be included in that, but I have to line that stuff up. I mean, I just can't sort of just pop it out. So Discord allows all that stuff. So someone may have Symphonian and Richwood. They can actually go, you know what? I'm going to do this test on the weekend, and it's going to happen, and you'll be able to have your answer like that. All right. Now, Sandra, you're going to have to tell me when things are happening. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to talk about a tuberose fragrance, and then I'm going to open it up to everybody else. I'd love to have an idea of what things you guys are into. But first, let me answer this tuberose. And actually, the first is this. You guys familiar with this one? This is Manhattan by Roja. Now, this is the latest. I've fallen in love with this. Fallen in love. I'm wearing it today. This was a slow burn. When I first got it, I enjoyed it. I liked it. And I also want to explore more. So I've actually put a little bit of money behind some Roja Doves. They're not cheap, as you all know. This one here, oh my goodness gracious, goodness gracious. Can I just say, well, apart from the fact that the bottle is just gorgeous, just the design of it is just divine. I do love, I'm assuming these are the Swarovski crystals, and if not, they're just gorgeous looking things. Anyway, so for me, this has become my new love. And normally I don't wear the same fragrance on consecutive days. This is my third day in a row, and this is 3 days in a row This morning I woke up, I'm like, okay, what's going to be my fragrance for the live? And I turned around and I just saw Manhattan. Manhattan is just sort of like, that like a heavenly glow, like, whoa! And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're going to be my girl. So just a gorgeous fragrance. It is so, if you haven't experienced this, I want you to go out and test it. It is so complex, so amazing, so divine, so many layers to this, where, sometimes to the point where sometimes I think it's this when I first got it. I think it's this. And then I'm like, hang on a second, what am I smelling? And all of a sudden I'm getting like an animalic, more sassy sort of component, but then it changes again. Phenomenal. Honestly, this is, and everyone talks about how Roger is so layered with his notes and how he can, I don't know how this is done, to be honest, because at the end of the day, it's pure chemistry, in the sense that the way these notes operate. But just the evolution of this fragrance is just off the chart. I sprayed it on, so I have my 4-year-old grandson, little Spider-Man, and he's so energetic. Anyway, I sprayed it on him. We went over to my sister's house, and she couldn't stop hugging him. She's like, "What are you wearing, Milo?" She's just like hugging this boy. She asked my son, what did you spray on him? And he's like, "It's not me, it's Dad." So I sprayed on him Manhattan, and it's just, and my sister cannot, she's like, "What is this fragrance? Can you please, share it with me?" But anyway, gorgeous. So that's my scent of the day, everybody. Love to know what your scent of the day today is for this live. Make sure you put it in. But now let me talk about tuberose. Actually, I'm going to wait for you guys to tell me your scent of the day. Oh, nice. I like Vera. I'm so bad at Discord, but yes, I should be learning. Can I just say, I am an absolute Discord rookie. For starters, I was calling it the community, Discord community. It's a server, all right? And so the two girls, Grace and Hannah, they've been educating me on all things Discord. And but it took me, so anyone who's afraid of getting into the Discord, and yes, I had, there's another gentleman by the name of Max, good friend, and he's like, great, another thing to distract me. And it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, it's another thing that takes your time away. However, I find that sometimes Facebook and Instagram really, it's like, it's a time warp. You open up that app and then all of a sudden you look out and you've like 4 hours later and you're like, what happened? Where did those 4 hours go? Whereas Discord, it's actually, it's a different form of engagement. You can, again, everything's broken up into different categories and conversations, so you can jump around quickly and have a read of the different sort of, or even ask a question. So yeah, so I found that Discord's a lot, what's it like? It's a community. Anyway, it's what I'm saying is it's easy to navigate. It'll take you 30 minutes and boom, you'll go, I know what's happening here. And it's really nicely fleshed out. I'm going to be doing some further work. I've got a Discord expert coming into the office, and we're going to do some further things. There've been some really awesome suggestions coming from the members in there of other things that they'd like to see. So we're working on that this week, everybody. So just give you a heads up on that. All right, that gave us enough time. So what are we wearing today, everybody? Let's have a look. I have not heard of some of these. Sun bleached. All right, boom. Cheers. That's an awesome one. Nikolai, New York. I love that one. Gorgeous. Awesome. Awesome scent of the day there, Ed. Okay, I'm wearing my fourth scent. This is Mercedes. All right, Slav, congrats. Amouage, Reflection Man, boom, baby. I'm going to push this one here. So I'm going to say this, you're saying fourth scent of the day. It's been a long day. Good for you. What do we got here? Oh, Sandra pushed it away. Hang on a second. Let me read it. I was in New York and Philly and back in Madrid. I love you international people. Just bouncing around the world like it's, going from suburb to suburb. Good for you. And you're wearing Berrylicious. Oof. I've never heard of this one. All right, Sandy. I was testing my Royal Oud today, and yep, yeah. I convinced you. I'm glad I convinced you. I didn't do anything. All I did was I pointed. I just said, go in this direction, go that direction. It's the fragrance. The fragrance convinced you to jump on in. Hey, it's good to see everybody on board. Green Irish. I love that. I love that Fred is the classic Creed man, you know? Yeah, so I love that you're always repping your creeds. Good for you, man. And Vitter Day yesterday, absolutely. All right, let me bounce back into what I was saying before. So the question that was raised is a good tuberose for a man. Now, for those who know or been following on the channel, I love tuberose, but it has been Sandra's note of preference. Now, for those who are aware, switch glasses. For those who are aware, Narcotic V, Nasomato, the classic note in there is the tuberose. So that tuberose is, for me, very feminine. Excuse me. It has it's a beautiful floral on a woman, and it is. I know that Roger Dove has called it the carnal flower, and I think it's a scent. It has a scent profile that does give you impure thoughts. There's something very sensual, yeah, and sexy, you know, when it comes to that particular fragrance note. So I've always had a heart. I mean, and as I got deeper and deeper into all things niche perfumery, I thought I want to experience all parts of the wheel, knowing that I would need to jump in on tuberose. But how do I get a tuberose that's not going to be, you know, overtly feminine on me, who I like to have nice masculine fragrances. So three, my lord. All right, I'm going to switch. So for those who would like to explore men, and mind you, can I say women, these will be easy for you because the florals are accentuated in here, so it's an easy. So these are, okay, before I move, one last thing, because I had this question raised again yesterday. The construct of fragrance for a man or a woman, it's a marketing thing. All right, just to give you a heads up, during the 60s or whenever they were trying, the 50s, when they were trying to sell more perfume, they broke up the genders, and they said, all right, we're going to now create fragrances that are designed for men, and this is what it should be, and now fragrances designed for women. Okay, so the bottom line is, so what's happened is that our perception is if it has a lot of florals, it's designed for a woman. If it has more green, woody components, it's designed for a man. But the bottom line is you wear what you want, all right? So it's not a bad thing for a man to wear florals, and it's not a bad thing for a woman to be wearing more heavier, woody fragrances, okay? Now, on the channel, I have to be careful because sometimes I write things I say things and people get like, well, hang on a second, this doesn't make sense to me. And I recognize that having new recruits in, so if you've come in from designers and all of a sudden I'm saying, here, put on a floral, these individuals are going, what is going on? Why are you telling me to put on a fragrance that is meant to be for a woman, okay? So I'm always careful the way I walk this line. But for those who've been with the channel for a while, know that, I mean, and I'd love the way that was defined so beautifully by Look at My Face, or one of the videos that I created. And he said, it's like pasta. Which pasta, as in, you know, long pasta or bow tie pasta or fettuccine, for instance, which of this pasta is designed for a man and which is designed for a woman? It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's just pasta. You eat what you like. I mean, there's different shapes and sizes, but you do you, sort of thing. And he said the same thing with perfumery. He loves to put rose into perfumes. And he says that sometimes men think, well, isn't that a female note? And he's like, it's just a rose. Stop thinking gender on this. It's just a rose note, okay? So tuberose, as I said, classically has always been put into female fragrances. It is a very heightened, sensual female floral note, and it's been used beautifully in things like Narcotic V. But boys, if you want to start, this is the most feminine leaning, if you want to. So let's, to stay on that so your brain can understand, feminine leaning of the tuberose. So this is Torino 23. It hasn't received a great rap. I've been listening to a lot of people talk about it and not getting a lot of love. I think it's awesome. I think it's a really, for those who want a really strong, potent fragrance that will now have, I mean, sometimes you want to buy a fragrance and have it really command a lot of attention, you know, bang for your buck. So Torino 23 is that very fragrance. It has an incredible throw, just volume on this fragrance is just phenomenal. It is a beautiful inclusion to that, the Torino lineup. It has a classic, for me, the DNA of this is almost like a vintage, it does give me the impression of, or the thought of Art Deco. I can see something in New York, 1920s, and somebody walking past wearing that particular fragrance. It has a beautiful, the heart of it is a beautiful range of white florals. So it has things like the jasmine, neroli, ylang ylang, yellow flower, ylang ylang, and the tuberose. And the tuberose, for me, really is the one that sort of stands up the tallest within that heart. Overall, gorgeous fragrance. There's patchouli in the base, so again, this is why a man can easily wear it. So now there are some woods that are bringing it down. The mossiness of that patchouli is there. On the opening, there is nutmeg and also cardamom. So it does have a little bit of spice, but it's never overpowered by the beautiful heart of those florals, and in particular, the tuberose. Big recommendation. I would recommend, boys, go out and test this baby. It's well worth it. Of the 3 Torinos, this is the one that gets, from what I've seen, the least love. But for me, this is a really gorgeous fragrance. And more to the point, the boys in my family, and again, the boys are similar to me in the sense that we're very versatile when it comes to our fragrances and florals and whatnot in our fragrance. The boys in my family all are enjoying Torino 23 tuberose. Now, the next tuberose I would recommend to you, another Xerjoff. Boop. And this was my first one when it comes to the exploration of tuberose. I felt like a big boy. When this is my first walking into a tuberose note. Up until then, I tried some other fragrances, and I was just like, where the tuberose note is very pronounced, is very, present. This one here has a gorgeous mandarin note to open up with. And it starts off with, so it's part of the 1861 collection, Naxos, Renaissance, yada, yada. This is the 10-year celebration, Decas. I have spoken about this baby for some time now. There's an episode that I created only on this particular fragrance here. The tuberose note is beautifully balanced with this sweet citrus mandarin note. And then in the base, it has incense, and there's something else in that base that brings it down. So early on, you're getting that mixture of citrus and floral. It's just beautiful as a summer fragrance. Right now, Northern Hemisphere, get on this one here. It is just, as a summer fragrance, it'll blow your brain on how spectacular. And the throw, the sillage of this baby here is extraordinary. But then it comes down, it settles down. So it works really well as a day fragrance, but it also works amazing as an evening fragrance. The incense brings down the tuberose with that floral note. It's not as pronounced as Torino 23. So Torino 23 remains nicely floral, whereas Decas does come back from that and settles down, although that citrus note does stay throughout the whole fragrance with that tuberose pullback. Big recommendation. Now, for those who are like, yeah, still a bit too feminine leaning, let me show you this baby. All right. Look at this. So who knows male Frashuni? I did a mate talk last week on all things male. This is Odor 93. Now, this is now designed for those individuals who do not want the tuberose to be excessively pronounced. Odor 93 is incredible. I'm wearing it on my hand. Now, it opens up with a cumin and a clove note. Now, the clove kills me. The clove note and myself, we're not the bestest of friends. It's very is very present. So when that the fragrance first opens up, the I guess medicinal component of those particular spices really pops for me. In the background, you're just getting this floral component coming through. Takes me about 30 minutes for that to settle, and then I start getting the tuberose note, which is in the heart. There's also, and I can never pronounce it correctly, daffodil. Say it again. Narcissus. Boom. So there's also narcissus, and narcissus gives it that sort of green, sort of a bit more greeny element, floral element to it. Evolution on this fragrance is a typical male, off the hook. It does go into oud in the base. It does have the classic male notes of patchouli, vetiver. I think there's a touch of vanilla in there, so there's a little bit of sweetness. When Sandra walked into the office this morning, because I was here early prepping, she mentioned to me, she's like, there's a beautiful scent in the air. I already knew which one it was. It was Odor 93. There's a beautiful scent. I'm like, what are you detecting? And she's like, oh, it's like a bubble gummy, but there's other components in there. And I said, all right, now smell this. And she's like, whoa, because up close. So this Odor 93 is not an up close fragrance. It's not one that you would bury your nose in. Whereas I said, now smell my chest, where I had Manhattan on. And she's like, oh, so I had that on my chest. And that one is the yummy, intimate, more personal fragrance. Whereas Odor 93 is awesome as a room filler, as something that really projects. The tuberose note is distinct, but it's not overtly floral like you would find on, say, Torino 2023. Just 2023, or even in Decus. Okay, so if you want now a tuberose note, more masculine sort of edged, then I would recommend to you Odor 93 as an awesome fragrance. And that's my spiel. That's my spiel for the. I'm going to switch glasses. I want to see what you guys have got going on here. Shukran. Yeah, Shukran is great. I only smelt it once. I have to be honest with you. So Aisha, good to see you, man. I've only smelt that once, and I don't have that. I don't have Shukran in my collection. I've got the number 3 from that Nota di Viaggio. But yeah, it's a male. I mean, you're going to be. I would be hard pressed to say that any male is not going to actually knock it out of the park in some way. I like that. Why is that a weird compliment? Customers said they've been following the smell. I think that's an awesome compliment. It's clear that your sillage is just, just like everywhere. It's just sort of floating around the place. And I'm going to say Decus does that. Decus has this incredible projection. Oh yeah, that's my Jim Lee poster. I do love all things Jim Lee. He's awesome. I needed a little bit of reinforcement behind me. I was a little bit nervous, but that's just normal, normal nerves that you get. All right, John, all about you, baby. So Fort and Manly. All right. So John is like a 5-star general within the Discord group. He is either asking or putting forward a number of different topics, or answering a number of different suggestions and everything else that people are putting through. Now, one of the things that he commented was on a brand called Fort and Manly. Now, I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to say this. I do have to acknowledge. Yep. Oh, you have it signed by mail. Boom. Good for you. That's pretty awesome. All right. So what I'm going to do, I want to show you this. Okay, we're going to share screens here. Let me have a look. Boom. I wanted to. All right, so look at this. It's like eternity. Can you see that? This is going on forever. All right, so I want to show you this. Can you see that, Sandra? Okay, great. All right, so the question was asked by John about a brand called Fort and Manolé. All right, so this is what it looks like today. These are it's an Aussie brand, by the way. And Rassi Fort is the owner, so and it's in his name, so Fort and Manolé. When I first got into this house, these are the fragrances that I actually purchased. So these are I guess the OGs within that within that scope. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this one here is Fatih Ahmed, I think it's called. Anyway, it's gorgeous ambery fragrance, but a beautiful collection. Actually, this is the other one here, which is absolutely gorgeous. But you can see that this is what it used to look like. This is what it looks like now. Now, the question is, can you see my mouse moving around like that, Sandra? All right. So the question is, why are we calling this Fort and Manolé? All right. So I'm working backwards on this thing here. This gentleman here. Now, I want to play this and see if you can hear it.
They smell from your collection. This is the first one that I bought off you. Yeah, I knocked it up within about a week.
You did this in a week?
Yeah. And
you created this fragrance in a week?
Maybe even less.
All right, so this is a perfumer by the name of Ali Erkekli. And I want to show you, this is the second part. So I'm going to talk about Rose Bandit in just a minute, but I want to show you this part here too.
Classically trained. Not at all, yeah. So tell me more about this.
All right, so I asked him the question, how did you become a perfumer? And I know that he's not, as I mentioned, not classically trained. So this
Can we just stop for a sec? Sure. I'm not exactly sure about how I want to approach this because you're leading me into...
No, I'm not going to talk about
that's where it started.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to ask you that question. That's voluntary on your part.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to.
But I don't know how to answer.
This is not an ambush.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. For me, this is my interpretation of what you're doing. It's hard. You're following your heart. And the other thing too is, and this is the same thing with Phil. All right, I'm going to stop there. So if you guys get a chance, watch that episode. So John, I'll put a link in this particular at the end of this live. Have a look at those. I did 4 episodes with Ali. Now Ali is actually Manolé. So Fort and Manolé it was the two guys. It was Rassi Fort and Ali Erkekli. Manolé was his stage name. So think of Sting and yada yada. And he was essentially the creative part to this arrangement here, and also created fragrances. Now let me show you these. All right, so I've got a. So he then went out on his own. I'm not going to go into, but there was there was drama, and this is what that particular video. And see that, I don't know if you noticed that ring of fire. That was a visual interpretation. Think of 2001: A Space Odyssey, where the 2 astronauts are inside the actual the pod, and Hal is looking at them. So that's what we were trying to do. You're Hal essentially, and you're watching this because that wasn't meant to be in the production. That was he if you heard him, he said, "Can we just stop for a minute because I don't feel comfortable." And so you were now within that sacred space where we were just having a conversation that was not meant to be in the production. But it was such a real, raw moment from this man that I wanted to include it. I showed it to him before it went, before I broadcasted it on the channel. I showed it to him first. I said, "Are you comfortable that I put this in?" But I just wanted to showcase. So Ali, I think, is incredibly talented. He had and again, I won't go into it because he doesn't want me to, but he had a difficult breakup essentially with Rassi Fort and Manolé. So he created his own perfume brand called Anka Kus. Now, a big recommendation for those people who want to find very artistic and very just really adventurous niche perfumery. Search this man out. I'll put again a link in the actual description. He has a massive collection. He has a really impressive collection. Now, this one here, this is called Absinthe Minded. And he actually got nominated for a Art and Olfaction Award when it was first released. Now, the part that blows my brain, so just to give you an idea, to be nominated for a Art and Olfaction, I mean, there's, I don't know how many fragrances are selected, and it's all across the world, et cetera, et cetera. He knocked this up, I think he said in a day, or it's something stupid, like in 2 hours or 3 hours. So if you like, Northern Hemisphere, a beautiful absinthe, licorice note that's in there, but it's aromatic and it's fresh with some woods in there. Really impressive. This is Absinthe Minded. For those who love rose, and that particular video there that I spoke about is, this is, by the way, my second or third bottle. This is the Rose Bandit. And that design, by the way, is also Ali. So he hand draws each one of these. So that's him doing his art and all the rest of it. So this is the Rose Bandit. And it is probably one of the most gorgeous rose fragrances out there. In my opinion, it is on par with Radical Rose. So I love Radical Rose. I think it's a gorgeous masculine or even feminine style fragrance. But Rose Bandit is on that par. So he's using a whole bunch of different roses in there, and it's just gorgeous. All right, so I would recommend that one also. Another one that I would recommend to you is this one here, and this one here took him a long time to create. It's called This Ember. And the essence, so Anka Kus means phoenix. And there's a lot of symbology in this for Ali, because after Fort Manilei, it went very bad, very sour. It was a difficult time for him in his life. And he had to essentially rebuild himself mentally and everything else. And so he renamed the brand Anka Kus, or he created his brand called Anka Kus, which is the Phoenix Rising. So this one here is his tribute to himself, which is the Phoenix also rising. This too also got awarded, believe it or not, not awarded, got nominated for an Art and Olfaction Award too. And again, yes, so Sandy, the artwork, he did it himself. So this is the Phoenix rising out of the ashes. And that one there, if you love ambery fragrances, but done in such a wild way, because there are animalic notes in there, but the animalics never take over. It is such a beautifully warm, ambery fragrance. It sits on your skin for hours. It's very, very impressive. So another great fragrance from Anka Kus, or from Ali. The next one that I would also recommend to you if you are new to the house and you want to explore is this one here, which is called Amber Destan. Again, look at that artwork. That is him. He's drawing that. So another incredible fragrance. If you like amber, again, done it in a different way. So big recommendation. Actually, last one. So there's two there for Southern Hemisphere. So I would recommend to you this Amber or Amber Destan. Both of them are beautiful in this kind of weather that we're having here in Melbourne. Northern Hemisphere, Rose Bandit, absolutely glorious. Absinthe Minded. Now, be aware, I've had some people say absinthe doesn't last long. It's true. You're probably getting about 4 to 5 hours on Absinthe Minded, but spray again. Not all fragrances are designed to sit on your skin for 27 hours or whatever it may be. So this one here, look, I find that I get 4 or 5 hours, it's true, but yeah, I just do 1 or 2 more sprays if I'm going out or whatever it may be. And it reemerges in a stronger way, and whether it's working off the existing base that I have on it. But as a summer fragrance, glorious. Now, one that lasts quite a bit, and this is a new inclusion. Love this fragrance. And this is Veti Verte. So for those who love a beautiful green, vibrant, aromatic vetiver fragrance, That baby there is spectacular. A big, massive recommendation. It's a vetiver. Sometimes I find vetivers can be a little bit heavy, a little bit earthy and green, whereas this one here is aromatic, vibrant, but the vetiver note is very distinct. Big recommendation. All right. So okay, so you are a local lady, so the delivery will be super easy for you. I would recommend. All right, so actually, I've got one more for you. Hey, before I'm going to answer that question, and John, I'll wrap all this up just for you. But one that you need to check out is the one that put him on the map. This is Jezebel. And I did do a video on this. So I've done a review on Jezebel alone. Actually, again, that video that I did with Ali, we talked about Jezebel. This is really now, as I mentioned, niche perfumery as an art form. So it's a wild ride. Some people, and I'm going to warn you. So Jezebel is not for everybody. There are some people who smell this and that blows their brains. Like, what in the world is this about? But if you're, and I would compare it to like a Sadonaso. Some people love Sadonaso. So they're like, oh wow, this is cake-like and warm and beautiful. And other people are like, it smells like cat pee, or smells like it's ultra sass. So I find that Jezebel does the same response. Some people pick up a beautiful chocolate pudding, warm, almost. I think there's a pear note on that opening with some cinnamon. It's just gorgeous. All right, really, really spectacular. However, some people pick up a very sassy note, and that's the point of this fragrance. So if you look at the biblical account of Jezebel, who was she? She's regarded as a harlot within the book, but in fact, she was a very strong, powerful woman. She was very influential. Again, watch the review that I did. I talked about, I guess, the background on Jezebel and how she, in my opinion, has been mistreated in history. In fact, Jezebel she was fighting for her own sort of thing. So the fragrance has this equal part of allure because, she was, I guess, a temptress to some degree, but at the same time, there is some fortitude and strength and some power from this particular individual. So this fragrance balances it between those two realms really well. Again, this is artistic perfumery now, okay? This is something that is quite spectacular. All right, let me go backwards. Boom. And let me answer Mai's first question. I would recommend to you, Mai, either one of the two. And for this weather, it would be spectacular. So Rose Bandit. I'm going to say start here. The rose note is a classic fragrance note. It's probably it's the queen of flowers. So it's the number one thing out there. And this fragrance here is just boom. Awesome. Again, I would compare it to a Radical Rose, which gets a lot of international presence and exposure. So that is on par, in my opinion. It stands up. It has very strong. I forgot my brain just went anyway. That one there, right? I would recommend to you Rose Bandit. It's it's an awesome fragrance. And for this weather, I would also recommend to you this one here. You have to get this Ember. Apart from the fact this is a classic, apart from the fact that this is the classic of the house. So there are some fragrances like Xerjoff, Naxos. You got to get Naxos. I mean, that's the classic of the house. Well, this Ember is the classic of Anka Kus. It's his power fragrance, essentially. All right, now go back. I had a question from John. Let me have a look. John, I want to answer your question. So you asked me about Fort and Manolete. After becoming very good friends with Ali, not that I feel I haven't bought any more Fort and Manolete today. There it is. So I have his earlier renditions, are the ones that I showed you, but all his new bottles, I haven't gone into that space, and I think that's because I know the full story of what happened there, blah blah blah, and so my heart goes out to all things Ali and his endeavor to re-emerge as the phoenix and come back out. So I would recommend to you, John, if you are interested in. And let me go one more. So the earlier renditions of the Fort Manley, Ali was involved as a perfumer in those. In these new ones, obviously the new different looking bottle, that's not Ali's work. But all the stuff that I just shared here, this is all of Ali's work. This is stuff that he's created himself. Have a look at those 4 videos that I did. That's inside his lab. We filmed in there, and he's just a really genuine man. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Very passionate about what he's doing, and his creations are exceptional. And there's more. There's a lot more. But these, I just wanted to sort of start everybody off. If you want to explore the Anka Kus, and I would recommend those. All right, I have Radical Rose. Do I need this? You're talking to the wrong man. I'll invite Sandra here, my financier, to answer that question for you. She's already doing the. You only need 3 fragrances. That would be what Sandra would say. You only need 3 fragrances, period. Whereas the collector is going to say to you that. Yes. Actually, do you want me to make a comparison? Let me do it right now. All right. So we're going to go rogue. Give me 1 second. I'll flick it to that to tempt you even further, and I'll be back. All right, give me 1 sec. I'm going to get this. All right, so I have my fragrance bar here. One day I promise that I will show what that fragrance bar looks like. So there's a massive collection of fragrances there. So this is Radical Rose, as everybody knows. And let me just give you the opening notes of that. I always get this beautiful, it's the berry-like, and I know it's a pink pepper that's in that opening. A very dusty floral, or rose note, I should say, not floral, it's a rose. There are berry components to it, but not like a raspberry. It has a very, as I mentioned, that pink pepper sort of component that comes out. There is there's something else that's coming through. It's cool. I just say it's gorgeous. So for those who don't have Radical Rose, please get out there and explore this fragrance just as a perfume, as a rose-loving perfume. I just love it. All right. And now this is the Anka Kus. Oh, different experience. All right. So short answer, yes, you can get both. Different experience. All right, so this has a much more robust opening of the florals. So I'm getting a lot more, not woods, but there are some more, whereas the Radical Rose has the berry-like sort of summery vibrance. That's changing now. Whereas here, and the whole purpose of this fragrance is the celebration of a rose, but not, and this is the interesting part, because sometimes rose can be, it's used a lot in cosmetic. So you get that very fake sort of rose, very, very feminine leading, almost grandma smell. Whereas this has got, and I don't know the notes, but this has got some kind of woods. There's something else in there that's happening. The rose note is definitely present, but there's a lot more. A man can easily wear this. And I'm going back to what you asked me, what's a good fragrance? Because I was thinking it's kind of cool here in our weather in Melbourne. This would be awesome as a winter fragrance. I've always, and like I said, this is my 2nd or 3rd bottle when it comes to the Rose Bandit. Big recommendation. So minimums within the house would have to be this amber, and I would have to say that the Rose Bandit would be another one. Am I buying? Good question. My financier said, no, I'm the good cop. She's the bad cop. I'm the good guy. Gorgeous. All right, so both are gorgeous. Can I just tell you? Both are gorgeous. All right, little song. Luke, little song is just like extraordinary. The collection that I have is is pretty healthy, and unfortunately sometimes some fragrances sort of they go to the back of the shelf essentially. In preparing for the mail for last week, I sort of had myself organized a couple of weeks ago, and I pulled out Little Song again. Oh my goodness gracious, what a beautiful fragrance. So again, for those who love all things male Fashuni, can I recommend to you, this is Odor 93, but can I recommend to you Little Song? It's, as Luke said, just a beautiful, the rose note in there is sublime. For me, the coffee, if you want a really beautiful coffee fragrance, I don't think there is anything better than Little Song. So Male does it in such a beautiful way. It doesn't go acrid. Sometimes I find some some coffee notes go a little bit acrid near the dry or the complete dry down, whereas that fragrance there, Little Song, boop, and I think it's that rose note that really helps it out. So funny that I love Rose Scent. Yeah, and Lyric Man, another gorgeous one. Rose Incense, please. That's gorgeous. I smelled Rose Incense again the other day, and for me, it is, and I mentioned this, it's Arrakis. That's for now, that's locked into my brain. Every time I think of Arrakis, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Rose Incense. You know, I've never been to Arrakis, but I already know that it smells like Rose Incense as a profile. Everybody, we're coming to 57 minutes, man. That went fast. Holy cow. Do we want me to, I wanted to just share two last things, but do we want to wrap up soon? Is there anything you want me to cover off? Is there anything else that you want me to share? There's been a lot of comments coming through. It's so good to be here, everybody. I'm so grateful for your presence, or not presence, but your company, I should say. It's so nice to have us all together. All right, 3. I need the 3. I'm with you, man. 3. Before as I said, before I became the niche fragrance collector, I was just, an avid perfume lover. And whenever I would say to Sandra, I'd like to buy another perfume, she's like, you've already got like 4 or 5. Why do you need more? I'm like, well, because, I have to put a really strong case forward. Now as the niche fragrance collector, forget about it. Which sounds like it's a joke, but it's not. I need to be constantly, moving forward when it comes to new fragrances that are out there. Zoologist. Okay. I haven't jumped in on Zoologist. We used to have a retailer here. That used to carry it. They stopped carrying it. There is a new retailer, but the problem is this new retailer is an online business, so they don't have an actual store that I can go into. As you know, I don't blind buy. I'm reluctant to sort of jump on in. I want to test. And my testing is spray on skin, walk out, and wear it for the day. I do my sneaky when I'm in the shop. I do a sneaky pop, and I spray on my chest and my stomach. And on my hands, so I do my classic 3 sprays just so I can experience what this fragrance is going to do for the day. So because they don't have a retail outlet, it makes it hard for me to actually experience this. But having said that, though, in time, yes, Zoologist is one that's definitely on my radar and one that I want to explore and do more work with. Have you tried? I haven't. So I will check that one out, Igor. I'll see what that one's about. All right. So for those who just in a wrap up, I have been promoting the giveaway. So this is the Vanille des Afriques. It's the new Almond Jane, just being released. It's a 10 ml travel size for those who would like to win this. I'm going to send it to anybody across the world. So those who are in this live, just to remind everyone that this promotion is still running. We've got a number of entries that have come through, so thank you for those who have participated. Actually, I'll put it here so you guys can all see what that looks like. Bob. So that bottle is up for grabs to anybody across the world. Now, the catch is this: you got to be a subscriber. All right. So I'm asking you, when I go into my YouTube studio, so the back end of YouTube, it shows me different icons, and it shows me there's a red. And if you look at the Mate Talk that I did last week, there's a red dot that says if you are a subscriber and for how long. So I can see that gives me all that information. There are some individuals who have jumped in and for the promo, but I'm not seeing that red dot. All right, so you just have to turn off your notification. So you have to turn off your privacy, and I showed you in that Mate Talk how to do that. Or subscribe. And I've had a few people say, oh, actually, I'm not a subscriber. So that's cool. You don't have to subscribe, but if you want to be part of the promo and you have to be a subscriber. So what I want to do is to say thank you to all those who've been supporting the channel all this time. I am wanting to get married to 100,000 subscribers. And so this is all part of that campaign to move in that direction. So if you would like to win that, you do need to subscribe. I'll send this anywhere across the world. So that's the first one. And I've got some more prizes that are to be won there. All right, let's have a look. What else? We've got some final things here. You live remote, Luke. So you're out there doing the money. I wish I had that much. Yeah, we don't have a Burger King for it. 100K, yes, Fred. I working very hard, as you can see, to get to that 100K. It's been very exciting. I have to tell you, it's been very exciting considering, and I keep sort of reminding myself. I also want to just, I guess, live in the moment also, and just acknowledge how things have sort of progressed. And I also acknowledge that things will happen when they need to happen. So I'm not too worried about it. I know that when I first announced in May that I wanted to have 100,000 by the end of May, I got a lot of beautiful comments going, you're setting yourself up for failure, essentially. You're going to get really disappointed. I'm like, it's all cool. This is just me. This is just the way that I operate. But I know it's going to happen when it happens. Having said that, though, as I said, I am trying to do quite a bit so we can sort of move towards that number as quickly as possible. I want to thank you guys, everybody who's involved in the channel, the way you have been, all these names that are here. Thank you, everyone. I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss out on a name, but I look at all the names that are coming through, and you guys are all the absolute OGs of the channel, and I thank you so much. I really do. I really thank you. I've met some of you. I look forward to meeting everyone else. We are planning to travel to Europe in September for the tour. We're about to announce actually, there's one question that I do want to say is who might be going to Exxons next year? So who's planning to be in the Milan region in February 2025? I'm curious to see if I could maybe get and Luke, thank you, mate. Honestly, I just read your comment there. Thank you. You have no idea how grateful I am for the support and the strength that I get from everyone. What's that? Another celebration towards 100. How would you celebrate North Stars? Okay, towards how which celebration we get the most stars? Wedding celebration, of course. Okay, Mercedes will be at Exxons. Good news. Mercedes is also the OG. We did the tour together. We did the tour together, and then we did last year we did the France tour together. That was an awesome experience. Whoa, Fred. That would be cool, my brother. I would love to see you in Milan. Sandy, that is awesome. All right, okay, so we were planning to announce on the 1st of July, which is today. So I was going to use this as a bit of a springboard, but we've got a few things that we're just finalizing. All right, so we are doing a tour in Exxons. We know that this year Exxons was a bit, at the end of the day is this, okay? So Exxons is a trade show. meaning that it's designed for the trade. So it's for retailers and wholesalers, etc., to go in, test out new fragrances. The brands are showcasing new fragrances that they're releasing to the market in that particular year. So it's a work function, essentially. In previous years, what they did was have 2 days for trade and 2 days for the public. Problem is that, and I say this with a lot of love in my heart, some of the public are not very nice. And I've been present there when the public come in, and it becomes really just, I mean, some people have very low manners, and they behave in a way that at the end of the day, these individuals, both the brands and these retailers, are trying to do business together. And then you have the general public who are behaving really badly. I mean, just feral almost. I remember one time I was talking to somebody, and this person was literally jumping over the top of me to try to, I'm like, whoa, relax. What would you like? I even said, what would you like? I'll give it to you, brother, So what happened was that the organizers this year said, okay, we're going to keep it 3 days for trade and 1 day for the general public. Anyway, general public were not happy this year. General public were like, how dare you? Again, I think that the general public forget that it's not meant to be. I mean, the organizers are being generous to allow the general public to come in, but in fact, it's a work function. So next year, we're planning something that will, because again, the tour is going to be on that general public day. We don't want to disrupt when people are doing trade, so we don't want to bring people in on a day that's meant to be for the trade. So we will be there as a general public, but we've organized something, and already we're lining some really exciting things up. All right, so there are some really cool situations that we're developing, so that, because we're now going to be with the general public also, and there will be the same concerns that happened this year, but we're trying to find a way around this to make it pleasurable. And like I mentioned in the Mate Talk last week, where, with us, so the what do you call it? The night and day, with us, without us. And I love, I'll do it this way. I love the sound effect that so with us is whooshing, and then without us. So with us, wait till you see what we've got planned. It's pretty exciting. There are the brands, as we've shared this concept with them, they're on board. They're actually quite excited to help participate with this. However, there's only going to be 20 seats. So we want to keep this as a very pleasurable experience for all of us. So we're only going to be doing, there's only going to be 20 seats available, essentially, or 20 spots. And this will be to create a magic carpet ride for an excellence experience. So we're doing something pretty spectacular there. Boom. All right. What is this? The Mary Marcelo group. Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole idea. Kevin and I keep joking that we want, as we're standing there, for other people to go, well, what are they doing? Why do they have all that they have? We want to create that FOMO of others, and whoever's going to join us, we want them to go, get out of here, man. You're not part of this group. So we want to create a bit of, we want to make you guys feel like super VIPs. That's the idea behind it all. So what we're developing, again, we were hoping to release it today, but give us another 2 more weeks. The final components to the tour will be in place. The website will be live with that, and then we'll promote it. But actually do this. If you are interested in knowing a little bit more, send me a DM. Actually, send me a DM with your email, because we'll send you guys a personal invitation before it goes live. And that way, if you want to, I've already got one person, mon prof de français. He already has put his hand up saying, so essentially we have 19 seats left. So if you want to know a little bit more, send me a DM via Insta, and I will make sure to send you a personalized thing first, and then we'll release it to market. We're done. It's now been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Vivian, it's good to see you. I just saw your icon. It's good to see you here. I'm glad that you that you made it. Yeah, two pairs of glasses. My 2 pairs of glasses is so that I can. This is my screen time glasses, but my other ones is because I want to look at the camera itself. Everybody, grazie mille for everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm hoping that there was something in this mix of fragrances that I put forward that could be interesting to everyone. Don't forget, this is up for grabs. So out of focus. Yeah. Boop, 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 boom. There it is. So this is up for grabs. It's worth $130 locally. I'll mail it anywhere in the world. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, enter your response, and we'll choose a winner in not this Mate Talk, the next one. So 119. Thanks, everyone. I'm out of here, baby. Thank you so much again for everyone jumping in. We should get some music to take us out of here. And we'll see you guys on the next Mate Talk or the next live. Boom. Thank you. Thank you, team. Let's dance it out.